Welcome back to another episode of the Cycle Cart Build. In today's episode I'll be making the seat for the Delage. The seat is going to be made up of a frame and a aluminium skin on the back and bottom of the frame, and then some padding on that. The frame will be made up of two U shapes, which will be made out of these angles, these 90-degree angles from some old lawnmower handles, attached to some straight pieces of metal, straight pieces of tube, and it will go up, across and back down, and then in the corners there'll be some sort of bearing, and then there'll be the same coming up, across and back down. So it'll be the seat back and floor, and there'll be aluminium on the back of that one and on the bottom of that one, and then there'll be some sort of arm bolted onto either side, so that then the sort of shape like that, so that we can adjust with different length arms that angle, so that we know what the most comfortable angle is. And I've got this piece of steel which I've drilled in a lathe and marked on the lathe, so I've got 3 1cm bits, and I'll need to make a fourth one using another bit of the same size steel we have, because this wasn't quite long enough, and then I can weld those to the pieces and put a bushing between them. Update on the seat project. I've got one of the two parts welded together, made out of a piece like this. 2 of those from the lawnmower handles and a bit of bar, and welded together. And I'll use something like body filler later before painting to make it all nice and smooth, because they're slightly different shapes. This handle had sort of a crushed bit in here to create sort of a more ergonomic handle shape, but I can smooth that change out with some body filler. But I'm happy with how it's looking and how it's coming along. It hasn't been cut down to size yet, but I thought I'd show you what it's like before being welded, cleaning off the paint where the welds are. I've marked out on the table the dimensions, so that I know that they are square, so we can tack weld it and then move it around so we can weld on all the sides. But it is not essential that they're parallel, because there's enough bend in them that if they're close enough, there'll be some sort of bar in the middle where the two join, holding it in or out at the correct distance so that they are parallel. And that's how it's going. And I will show you when that is welded and I'm ready to put the plugs and discs for the hinge mechanism at the bottom. I have just put the first of these metal lugs, or whatever you want to call them, into the end of the tube, one of the tubes, and you can see how far it's gone in there. These are some of the holes which are just in it. Needed some bashing to open this out so it could fit in. I'm drilling a few holes around so that there's some places to put plug welds in to make sure it's properly in place. This will give a stronger welding surface and a bigger welding surface for the discs for the hinges to be welded to these two. I've been working on the Delage 15S8, and today I have completed the frame and hinge mechanism for the seat. So as you can see, it's the frame, the top frame that you've seen be made and was in my video asking for advice, which is 2 pieces of steel tubing which have the bends in them, and then a just straight bit of steel tubing welded together. There's another one welded at the bottom, and then these discs have been welded on, which still need a little bit of cleanup, but then these bolts then go through. There's a nylock on the other side, and a little rubber washer are made going into a hole in only this wall of the tubing. but just enough on each side to hold it nice and strong in both directions. And it also then means there'll be some straps from the outside going from there to here, just like seatbelt material, so that I'll be able to lean back on it, but then easily be able to lift it to get into the back of the cart.